stay hidden or to stay like this one girl was having an experience where she would have different kinds of experiences, classic sleep paralysis where she couldn't move and everything, and she would wake up and there would be like a girl sitting on her bed, kneeling on her bed with her sitting on her feet, and said she couldn't quite see her face because she kind of had like this hat that was covering her eyes, and she was looking down at her chest. And and this was one of the ones that she started getting real suspicious about all this stuff because, and then it was really freaky to her, obviously. But I mean, she's not dreaming; she's totally awake and everything, but she can't move. And so she got real scared. And this is a person who's actually, according, their profile is very into Ouija boards and things of that nature. And so she started praying to God, the real God, at that point because the fear brought her to that point. And she said as soon as she started doing this unearthly growl from just deep down in this girl, happened. And so and then it ended. But then the next one she had this thing where, classic thing again, except this time it was like a cute little leprechaun, and it was just kind of going around the room, and she was describing it like it was kind of curious. I mean, it seemed like, oh wow, there's a human, It was like it was really curious, and it came up to me and it looked at me like, oh wow, is that really a human or not? And so she kind of made her all of a sudden forget about that whole, oh yes, they responded to prayer, to to God, and to Jesus, So, and then throughout the whole course is always this deception and stuff. But anyway, I guess what they said that reminded me, Jeffrey did, was, what was it you that said it? You said it. Talking about how seeing your dead relative or whatever. I have a friend who, I was talking about this at a party. I know we were freaking probably a lot of people at this party. I was like, I was at the party talking to this girl about, demonic possession for the entire party. I'm sure, when people catch here in our conversations, he's not really that fun at parties anymore. But anyway, but one of the things was she was convinced. She is convinced that. Well, I think we kind of went a long way towards figuring this out, but she was convinced that it couldn't be. Well, her main thing was that she had an experience with her. Somebody through a medium, through a psychic, that it was her dead mother that knew a lot of things that her mother only would know, and it was kind of like, from what I gather, she wasn't quite sure. She had an inkling it was demonic and not real, but it was. She also has this kind of sensation where she has these psychic abilities, and those psychic abilities are in a sense the prison, because it's like, well, I've got these abilities, therefore it must be right, and it's such a hard nut to crack. To be like. That was her main thing, was like, these things have to be real because, it can't, there's not enough demons to be around to actually have been around my mom to have known those things. Her whole thing was they couldn't live that long. It's like, yeah, they can live that long and they would know. I'm just saying it's a possibility. Yeah, they were faking it. They're real smart and they're real deceptive.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
but it does seem like a pride thing a lot.
It totally is, and pride can bite anyone and really suck us in really, really, without us even knowing it. And it's happened to me countless times, and I guess I'm just really blessed that it hasn't been in a way like that. But I don't know. I've killed many a party myself, and have only been to a few of them in my lifetime. So. I would imagine that we've probably left an indelible sore spot on many folk that we've encountered in our lives. But so be it. It's all about. It's kind of like you're used to looking at things in the dark. Your pupils are all wide open there, and if somebody hits you with some light, it hurts. It hurts. It hurt me. Just realizing that a lot of the things I thought I knew, just simply looking at Christmas, what could be more Christian than Christmas? And coming to understand what that is and trying to force myself out of that program, out of that, totally being mesmerized by the wonderful feelings of goodwill and good cheer and the Christmas tree and Christmas carols and everything. It hurts. So you hit someone that's really got some kind of a demonic influence in their life, and good luck. It's only through the Holy Spirit that anything is going to be achieved with someone like that.
Right. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, so it seems to me like, I'm sure this isn't just me, but it just definitely seems like that we as Christians have to get more, we have to be more savvy and stop being, there is a line where you don't want to just learn it for the sake of learning it or revel in any kind of thing, but our brothers and sisters are falling prey to a very clever lie. And if you're on board with this kind of stuff, what I'm saying is you don't have to know a whole lot. You don't have to be very smart. You just have to know the basics, and then you're already armed with the ability to save countless of people who haven't even heard the basics, especially concerning, now the thing that I can't get about these attacks on like people is that it seems like their need to attack and torture and everything else overrides their need to pretend like they're not demonic, It's beating out their decision to their rationale. I don't know if they have any rational thinking at all. It seems like they're just bent on destruction, but I guess what I'm saying is that people are looking for a way out. They're very, very much being tortured all in various ways all over the place. So we just need to spread out and really start. Everybody's got their own thing, and that's the reason that I continually like being in this body is because I know that I'm just doing a very specialized little thing, and the same way you've got a very specialized thing, and I could not do the other things that people are doing, and there's just so much, and that's what the beauty of his leading people, and I think one of the best things about God is his meetup groups. He's always leading providentially you to somebody else within the body, and that's why I think that churches, a good church that the Holy Spirit is bringing you to, because the Holy Spirit built, is always a place where you're going to find more parts of that body. And every time I go into one, I'm so surprised to meet these people, and they're like my age, and they look like me, and talk like me, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And yet they do some kind of completely different thing. And I could be like, go to them, and it's like, hey, could you do this thing, whatever it is, maybe they're dentist or something like that. And all of a sudden it's like having a friend in the dental industry, because it's like that. It's just great.
Yep. Does anyone want to call in? Anybody? I don't want to beg here, but I don't want to shut anyone out that's thinking about calling. I don't know. You got anything else going on?
Yeah. Well, there's all kinds of stuff. What about the Zeitgeist Challenge? You had any? I'm sure that I'm betting that thing is about to get a lot busier. But is it generally the same kind of thing? Nothing new developments on all that?
Pretty much the same. I really haven't gotten that many nasty comments lately, which has been nice. I can tell you this, and this may be funny, it may not be funny, but I got the email that you sent me with the Zeitgeist debunked Atara S video thing, and I went on there and I posted a comment, and instantly I had like 10,000 someone's responded to you. So I posted another comment, and I forget exactly what I said or how it came out, but I basically said well, you must, for you to talk like this, this was someone basically saying that, well, what kind of a God would deprive us of knowledge? True love is never depriving someone of anything. And I said, okay, well, I guess then you're your own little God because you can understand the nature of God. And then I got basically the response that, yeah, and we all are, and you'll see soon enough, and blah, 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 blah. And I don't know, like 10 minutes after that, Salvation Revelation is dead. I'm like, this is like, what a coincidence this is. But, it's, again, and that's one of my I just have to learn to just stop responding to certain people because I was going at it for like 20, 25 minutes and getting hot under the collar and bothered, and it's just like, just put it out there, put out what we have to put out there, and then let them fight with themselves.
Right on. Well, maybe we've got a chance right here to do that.
Yep.
We got to.
Oh, let's see.
Got a caller?
Guest, are you there?
Hi, you guys.
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
Hi, this is Jane in Arizona. How you doing?
Hey, Jane.
You brought up something I thought real interesting in regard to like the sleep paralysis and like entities presenting themselves like to Christians.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a lot of talk that, you have to open up doors to let that bad stuff in. And I agree with you guys, not necessarily. I mean, I think they're manifesting more and more. They're crossing through the veil.
Right. Definitely, I wanted to, even in this recent study, I really wanted it to be that easy, and I got to say the majority of the cases seem to be that easy, where, I mean, that it's people that have obviously opened doors. But,
yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. But sometimes
it's
not
always like
necessarily.
that.
Yeah.
And the one thing I'll say about that is that sometimes it still is that easy. There are a number of cases it seems like that can happen. One of them is that there is some kind of family tie, some dark thing in a family that needs to be shut by the person, that needs to that take the authority and say that to, just to renounce any kind of authority. There also can be an instance where I've just kind of recently got a touch of, is that there may have been something in their childhood or something where something like that happened, like a early lie to the child that is opening a door that, like, maybe is something that they got told either by a person or some kind of implanted idea that they don't even know is there. And so when, like, in the case of, and the reason I'm saying this is I was reading something where in the case of where somebody was had a demonic actual possession in conjunction with it, when the person getting the demon out asked how you got in there, how did you get in? And basically the demon said, because she made a vow, and you ask, well, what vow did you make to the person? When the guy told the demon to shut up and asked the person, what vow did they make? And anyway, without going too much further, it was basically something. Actually, that's a different case. That was something that the person knew about. But the interesting thing about that case was. That vow was not actually, it was only legal in the head of the person. It wasn't like a spiritually, it was only legal to the demon because the person believed the vow. Now, what I was trying to get to was that it seems like there is another kind of thing that can happen in trauma that actually is actually a spiritual blockage for the person to even remember the traumatic incident where that happened. So I guess what I'm saying, in so many cases, it can just be broken by the person renouncing a lot of things that they might not even know about, and definitely using the power and the authority of Jesus Christ, and that seems to certainly work in the short term, like per instance. And I remember Joe Jordan always talking to people, and Joe Jordan was the guy who deals pretty much with people that have this on a regular basis, but generally his specialized was people that were, quote, getting abducted by aliens. And he had a picture or a little model of a door, looks a little mini door, and he would show somebody, it's like, what is this? As he was holding the door open, and they would say, that's an open door. And then he would say, what's this? And he would put his finger in the door as the door was closed, and they'd have to say, it's still an open door, meaning basically if there's something that they might know of, that they can close the door all the way. And like I was saying a little earlier, is that I think it varies so different per person what it is that is opening those doors. It's kind of like some people can handle more alcohol than other people. I think maybe certain people don't handle as many of those things. Like it might be something from reading a lot of these things, it seems like some people it was as easy as looking at pornography or something like that would actually make them have the paralysis events. And these are, Christians and things like that. It would be, but it would probably, but again, that's certainly not with every case. But anyway, have you had a experience similar to it?
Well,